Alright guys, with Mini SSJ4 Goku being revealed yesterday, finally coming to Dokkan, which I'm still gassed about, I've seen a lot of people on the timeline underestimating his leader skill, whether that is the full 220 lead or the 170 side of things, and I'm here to show you why you may be underestimating him more than you think. Now, his full 220 leader skill is demonic power, pure Saiyans with the HP attack and defense of 170, and then the additional HP attack and defense of 50% going to time travelers, Dragon Ball Seekers, bond of parent and child. So we're starting with the full 220% leader skill already, and just from the first two rows alone, I can see already 5 units making a full lead already if you were to run dual Daima SSJ4 Mini Gokus. So already I'm not getting the slander to his leader skill. One of the first units being, and I'm not going to do this for all of them going into detail, is the SSJ Gohan, Trunks and Goten unit. A unit that literally came out a few months ago at the end of GDC. Still a very good unit, more than usable still near the end of 2025. Putting out good numbers offensively, defensively, has some very good support, giving all allies 30% attack and defense. You can also double that with one Daima SSJ4 Mini Goku. You can triple it with running dual of them leads, and then giving out even more support on top of all of that, as long as you have another hybrid Saiyans of bond of parent and child category ally on the team, which if you're running dual SSJ4 Mini Gokus, you will be triggering easy anyway, because that is under his 220 leader skill. And he himself as an individual unit is a bond of parent and child category unit. So not only will you be beefing up the Gohan side of things with Ki +7 and 250 attack, but you'll have even more support on top of the support we've already gone through of all allies 30% attack and defense and 15% crit chance. So already on top of Daima Goku support, you'll be getting a full extra 60% attack and defense and 15% crit chance, which is some pretty crazy levels of support, while this unit also has damage reduction, also has even more damage reduction down here, and even more support of 58% attack and defense. And then even then, once you exchange into Trunks and Goten, you're putting out some pretty crazy numbers. You have dodge chance when and where you can use it. You even have guard and a little bit of extra support already, on top of the support we've already mentioned. So we're starting out really strong with the first unit. You also have Blue Goku specifically from the Strength Blue Boys of GDC. Solid numbers, good defensively, guard, dodge, what more could you ask for? Pretty strong active skills from both the Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta side of things. Then we have both the 10th anniversary fusions in Vegito and Gogeta. Have they fallen down the pecking order?
Popo's about to teach you the pecking order.
I'm not gonna lie, yes they have, but you can still easily get some use out of them. You know, make sure you get a couple stacks, make sure you exchange into Vegeta and Goku, vice versa for both units to get some defense and some extra defensive coverage when needed, but they still have some of the best active skills in the game. You know, if you're going for the kill, if you're going against an enemy with a meaty health bar, which a lot of them do have nowadays, you have Gogeta doing some fantastic damage in his active skill, but not only that, still has some of the strongest support on an active skill in the entire game, which of course everyone can benefit from, including SSJ4 Mini Goku as well, and whoever's on the rotation. And of course, the other unit being the Vegito can benefit from the support. He's doing crazy amounts of damage in that active skill rotation, and even 2 turns into it, especially when you do use his active skill itself with the Spirit Sword, and you're hitting all those counters, you're hitting all the crit counters. It's just pretty much a good time. So while they may not be as good as they were when they officially released back in the 10th anniversary, they are still very good, they are still usable, and you still have some crazy strong active skills to use with both those units from the 10th anniversary. Continuing on with the 10th anniversary is the Carnival LSSJ4 Goku. I mentioned how good of a team this would be on Giant 8 Power, but on specifically Daima SSJ4 Mini Goku's lead, you can have one Carnival LSSJ4 Goku, which I know some people will be happy with, because sometimes it can be a little bit of an annoyance to maintain both SSJ3 GT Gokus while you're trying to set up the SSJ4 side of things, but already you have some very strong power beyond a Super Saiyan support at 50% defense even before you've transformed. You have the dodge chance you can get from this unit and some solid damage output as well, while linking pretty well with links like Super Saiyan, links like Saiyan Raw, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Kamehameha, but especially that Saiyan Raw link and how much extra attack it will be giving, especially when we've seen the type of numbers already from that mini showcase Dokkan did that SSJ4 Mini Goku's doing. Then you have the Giant Ape stage, or the Giant Ape active skill, which I am going to include this because you basically got pretty solid damage for free with the guaranteed crit. Not only that, for a bit of team coverage, you have the super attack nullifications that giant form transformations can give you, and then you have peak absolute rawness, you might as well call me Gordon Ramsay, is the Carnival LRSSJ4 Goku support. That power beyond the Super Saiyan Giant Ape power category allies, 70% defense and 10% damage reduction on top of all the extra stats that Daima SSJ4 Mini Goku will be getting, the support that dual leads will give out, and then any other support you're getting from, say, a Gogeta active skill, the Gohan, Goten and Trunks, but then also the 70% defense going to these two categories and that 10% damage reduction to Daima SSJ4 Goku, taking him up to about 54% damage reduction, which combined with those 5 turns where he still has his guard is a pretty good time if you ask me, and there's a lot of support flowing through this team if you have all the units to set it up. Now I could end this video now because already we have a full team built. We have dual SSJ4 Mini Gokus, we have Gohan, Goten and Trunks, which is already 3 units, Blue Goku and Vegeta from GDC, 10th anniversary units, and we also have Carnival LRSSJ4 Goku. So already at this point, we have a full team. I could done and dust this video right now, but I'm not going to do that because there's going to be some of you that could turn around and say, well, I don't have Gohan, Trunks and Goten. I don't have Carnival LRSSJ4 Goku. I don't have the Blue Boys from GDC. And that's fine. While sticking to the 220 lead, you could still possibly get some use out of Carnival LRSSJ Gohan. Put him in slot 3. He can deal decent amounts of damage. Has a good standby, good finish skill. You may have to protect him, but you could potentially get some use out of him. Although I would take him as a 50-50, so I'm not actually going to include him as a guaranteed pick. That's fine. We're still already at 6. We have Beast Gohan. Probably one of the best aging units in the game and definitely deserves his rest. However, you can still squeeze some juice out of him. There is still some life to this unit before he eventually goes to die, before he gets his EZA during the 12th anniversary, which is only just over a year away, which is crazy to say. Now, I know he's nowhere near as good as he used to be. That's fine. This guy came out in 2024 during the anniversary. It's about time he gets his rest, but you can still squeeze some use out of him. Another unit that can benefit from all the support from SSJ4 Daima Mini Goku. And then if you have Gohan, Goten and Trunks, another unit that can benefit from their support as well. But just focusing on the support from the dual SSJ4 Goku leads, just in case you don't have Gohan, Goten and Trunks like me, that's going to help him out. You have his entrance buff, which is giving him Ki +8, crit and damage reduction of 40% for 5 turns. Then you have his guard. And then not only that as well, the damage reduction when Ki is 24 when you receive an attack. He's even giving all allies Ki +3, which I don't think will be necessary on this team. But again, that's even more support going for the team. And then, after performing 5 or more attacks or receiving 8 or more attacks in battle, that's another 20% damage reduction on top of everything he's already got. We already knew how good he was. But then he has such an amazing active skill, that taunt, where if you use it within those 5 turns, you've got all them stats, all that damage reduction, the guard, the entrance animation still live, where you can get all the extra defense and essentially direct all the attacks away from the rotation you're on and have Gohan pretty beefed up, do a decent amount of damage once he's taken all of his attacks, and then move on to the next rotation. You can still squeeze some life out of him. And I know what you're thinking, once the entrance animation's gone, especially with how much he's aged, he's going to be pretty vulnerable. Yes, but how much content in the game are you really going to be going past turn 6, maybe turn 7 to 8, where this guy could potentially get you killed within that time, especially once you've rotated him off, when you're doing the kinds of damage you're doing with Gohan, Goten and Trunks, Blue Goku and Vegeta with their active skills, and in general, Daima SSJ4 Mini Goku because he's putting out pretty insane amounts of damage and his active skill as well. You have the 10th anniversary units with Vegito and Gogeta active skills. This guy's damage, just to name a few, I think you'd be okay potentially bringing Beast Gohan even in the big 2025 on this team. Now, those were some immediate units that could go on this team already, but we have 3 potential units. 2 coming sooner rather than later, which are the 8th anniversary EZAs, which will literally be coming out in 2.5 to 3 months time. Daima SSJ4 Mini Goku literally drops tomorrow on the 27th. We are on the 26th of October when I'm recording this. We are about to be in November. In 2.5 to 3 months time, we will be in 2026. We will be in the beginning of the 11th anniversary, where these two will get their guaranteed EZAs, and Dokkan, touch wood it doesn't happen, and I'm sure it won't, Dokkan have not fumbled an anniversary headliners EZA whatsoever. From the year 7s to the year 6s, 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s, 1s, whenever they got their initial EZA in the game, they were one of the best units and best EZAs in the entire game, and I don't doubt that Dokkan will continue that. So while that doesn't help the team immediately, in literally a couple months time, you have 2 big additions to Daima SSJ4 Goku's 220 lead. And then, if you want to wait a little bit longer, depending on when Dokkan decide to do it, this guy will be due an EZA in not that much time. Literally, by the end of the year, Beastless Gohan will be on the verge of getting an EZA. It's just a matter of when Dokkan will drop it. They've been known to drop EZAs a little bit early before the 3-month or 3-year mark before. Will they do it this year? Who knows? I can't wait for Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolos and the Gamma's EZAs to come. But then this one you might have to wait well into next year for. But again, even more potential for this team. I know he was memed on release for not being Beast Gohan and being beastless. That's fine. That's all good. That's cool. But he was still a pretty solid unit. Now, I'm not going to go into loads of detail of what they could do with his EZA, but they could buff the guard. You know, they could give him guard and damage reduction naturally in his passive. They could give him dodge. He was already a very good damage dealer on release. Give me more of the same when they EZA him. He'll work really well with Beast Gohan. We'll probably replace him as a somewhat usable Beast Gohan when the LR Beast Gohan goes to die, because again, Lord knows he has earned his rest at this point, and he even has nullification on Ki Blast super attacks, which they could easily buff up. So again, I know this is one for the future. I know this is potential, and obviously going to be more than likely a lot longer wait than the 8th anniversary units, but 3 very good and very big units with huge potential with their EZAs to add to this 220 lead. Then carrying on in the more immediate future, we have the Year 7 LR Gods and SSJ4s, 2 fantastic units who are still more than capable, more than usable months and months after their EZAs dropped. You know, you can have a rotation with Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta with the Year 7 LR Gods. You know, they don't need a lot of stacks to really get them going in content where they can dodge, they can build up through Rainbow Orbs. You can make the most of that. Even against Red Zone Pure Saiyans Edition Broly, the type of advantage plays a huge factor at how much damage they're going to be doing. It helps them out a lot more, especially with the dodge nullification. And the same could be said with the SSJ4s. They're going to link very well, especially with that Saiyan Raw link with SSJ4 Mini Goku himself. Again, don't need a lot of stacks. They get damage reduction once you go into Gogeta. You have the counter as well, which is massive, and you can do some crazy damage with that. Going to be a good setup with Carnival SSJ4 Goku on the team as well with the support. It's a pretty good time. These units, I don't need to say a lot about. They are pretty amazing, and that is 2 extra units for right now that already go on SSJ4 Mini Goku's 220 lead. Then we have a very niche one who has his own niche and just still won't die, which is AGL UI Goku. He does what he says on the tin. He's a dodge or die unit. In the content where you can dodge and you don't mind using dodge or die units, you can bring AGL UI still to this day in the big 2025. Of course, there's a chance he doesn't dodge. Don't expect the most out of him, but he's a very good unit at what he does, which is dodging. So definitely a valuable option nonetheless, whether you agree with me or not. Another one you could bring on the team is Super EZA LR Majin Vegeta. Won't be performing at his best, so I know he'll probably be a bit low on the list of choices of units because you'll be missing out on a lot of extra attack at 150 attack because you won't have 3 or more extreme class units on the team, which I know kind of hinders him a little bit, but for how good he is, I think him without it will definitely be noticeable, but definitely still usable. It's definitely a pretty solid option. You'll be surrounded by superclass units, so you'll have even more support added to an already stacked support team with the key +3 and 80% defense to all allies, which on top of all the other support, it would just be crazy amounts of supports flowing from the team. But even while missing that 150 attack, you're still going to be able to do some pretty good damage with him. He just unfortunately won't be at his best. But the good thing with some of these units on his team, you can trigger this. So he could still do some pretty crazy damage nonetheless, even without being surrounded by some extreme class allies to trigger this part of his passive anyway. Now we have another potential unit in Daima SSJ4 Mini Vegeta, which definitely had a little bit of a resurgence because of his skill orbs. A lot of people, including myself, really want to see how he does now on Mini SSJ4 Goku's team, especially with all the support he's giving. It's definitely a maybe. Now, no, but a maybe potentially for going on his team. We'll just have to see how he does once SSJ4 Mini Goku does drop tomorrow. But in terms of any more usable units on his 220 lead, I mean, we have more than enough right now. We have a full team of 6. We have some substitutes. We are ready to go. We have a full team already built. But do we have any more? I don't think so. But again, we have options. We have alternatives if you're missing units. We have some pretty good options on this team already. I mean, you could get some use out of the 2 Easy 8 SSJ GT units. Slot 3, get some good damage, guard, you know, those kind of things. Some decent damage from the active skills. Probably the weakest choices to go on this team, if I do say so myself. But still, potentially some options you could add to the team. So I'm definitely going to include them. So on the 220 lead alone for Daima SSJ4 Mini Goku, we have 1, 2 units there for the GT Super Saiyan Easy A's. We have, I don't even know how I missed him, Path to Power Kid Goku's Easy A is still good. Slot 3, more support even running through the team. Has dodge where and where usable. That's a 3rd unit already here. Can't believe I almost missed him. That's another good choice. That's 3 units already. We scroll back up. We're looking at potentially 4, but I'm not going to include him. Just because, again, we're going to see what he does when Goku drops. 4 with Majin Vegeta just won't be at his best, but still very good. Still very usable. Still goes good damage, can still deal with the majority of normals in the game. It's just a super attack you have to watch out for, and that's even on a team better suited for him. But even more support flowing through a team with already bunches of support. 5 with UI Goku if you completely fine with dodge or die units. 6 and 7 with both year 7 Easy A's, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 units, I'm pretty sure that was 13 units already usable, and more than usable, and some great units to go on SSJ4 Mini Goku's 220 lead. So where we're pulling that his leader skill is trash and not good, I have no idea, because this is just full from the full 220 leader skill alone. There's alternatives in there if you're missing some units. Is it the best category in the world? Absolutely not. But it's a pretty good starting point, if I do say so myself. That is only going to get better, especially with the year 8 Easy A's and Beastless Gohan anywhere from the end of the year to the next year. So those are 3 potential units, taking it up to 16 units. And then if Daima SSJ4 Mini Jeets gets a resurgence because of SSJ4 Mini Goku, that is what? 17, 18 units in total. Now I know some people don't like to run units on a 170 lead and only like to run units on a full 220 lead. However, there are a lot of units in the game that are still runnable, even if not on a full 220 lead. But even if you don't want to, you had 13 to 20 units already usable on SSJ4 Mini Goku 220 lead. But if those of you are willing to run 170 lead units, already we have Carnival LRR through Broly. In any content that exceeds turn 6, turn 8, he's going to be more than capable. He's going to be fine. I know he has his flaws, but he's still a good unit nonetheless, especially if we're going past turn 8, turn 10. We have Carnival, LRK, and Caulifla, who are very good, very solid unit. You can still get some use out of Carnival Broly from Worldwide, put him in slot 1. And again, especially with all the support flowing through the team, will only help all of these units I'm talking about on the team as well, which there is a lot. We have another heavy hitter and super easy LR Broly, who's just an absolute monster, especially if you were to run Carnival LR Broly as well. Pretty good setup for you, and again, another unit will benefit from all that support. So already off the 170 lead, we've added 1, 2, 3, 4 units on top of the 13, between 13 and 20 we got for immediate 220 lead units and potential. Are there any more down here, or is that all of them? I mean, I think that might be all of them, but again, we've chosen some pretty big units. I mean, you can get some use out of this guy right here, especially with all the damage reduction he gets. Now, on the other side of things, with the 170 lead for demonic power, immediately I'm seeing potential with Orange Piccolo. Again, I know that doesn't help the immediate with the team, but I think we've already covered that more than fine, especially with all the 220 lead units and some of the 170 lead Pure Saiyan lead units. But Orange Piccolo is at one point or another one of the best units in the game, and hopefully will return to that once he gets his EZA between the end of the year and next year. So that's another great unit that could potentially be added by EZA to SSJ4 Mini Goku's team. And I don't think Demonic Power is really going to have too many. I mean, there's some good units here, but units you wouldn't run with the units that you're typically going to be running on his 220 lead or 170 lead regardless. There's no point just kind of forcing them on the team, because there just won't be a lot of chemistry. There won't be a lot of synergy. I mean, like, for example, you could still get some use out of Super EZA Buhan. You're not just going to put him on the team. I mean, you could do like a Boo rotation, but with the team you're running, it's better to leave them off. But already we're looking at like over 20 units between future EZAs, between immediate usable units. But even immediate usable units alone, you're looking at like, what, 16, 17, 18 units? So I have no idea why people are absolutely slandering SSJ4 Mini Goku's lead, because there are plenty of units you can use in this team, whether you're missing units, whether you're missing a few, whether you want options, whether you want alternatives, dodge units, good defensive units, a lot of damage units, good active skills. We have that and then some in abundance. And one thing this team definitely does have, which I didn't realize I had so much of until now, was tons and tons of support. And that's even before, because there's potentially even more units we could add to this team, even before we get any of the EZAs revealed to us that are going to be coming out alongside SSJ4 Mini Goku. So all of these units we've gone through are just the basis. We're going to have a couple more added, and especially like a major EZA come in that can also be added to this team eventually when the EZAs drop in this celebration. So we have even more pending to add to this team. But you can let me know your thoughts of his leader skill down in the comments. I just don't understand how people have overlooked it and they're underestimating him already, and he hasn't even dropped. Dragon Ball fans, am I right? Because there are some amazing units that go onto his team. It's definitely a good lead. Is it the best? No. But a very good lead, has some great potential, and there's more EZAs to come with him eventually when he does drop during this celebration. But I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care of the rest of your day, and post.